Hey kiddo. Hey kiddo.
All right, so what we have here is the Hands of the Void, final Under the Wire edition. And what we have is this is going to be kind of a contemporary art piece I put together with the new room, the Inspiration Hall. And I'll show you a little bit about this in just a bit. So to start with, obviously this room is themed around Lua tile set. And what we have here, the main thrust of this, of course, is our man in the wall. And one of the things that I did with this is that I wanted him to kind of like resemble one of those shades with the glowing eyes, and also kind of be flat and gangly, similar to, and have that strong frowny face there, similar to the cards that Rel used to express his emotions in the Chains of HeroQuest. Now, I want to note that this room is not done in a final form. It's simply as done as it can be to make it in underneath the deadline. So let's let that kind of give this a quick peek here. Some of the other things I kind of want to do here is, I'm planning on taking maybe one of these plasma clouds and throwing it up here to kind of really drive home this void energy. I don't know, it might be too busy. I'm still contemplating that. And do maybe the same thing over here. But yeah, I like it kind of with that gravity well effect. And yeah, so we've got that. I might kind of want to put some, I want to say like manacles on him that show that the chains are busted, i.e. Chains of HeroQuest, where we bust those chains, which then allow the man in the wall to start to come through the wall. Hence the focus of this particular room. And like I said, it's kind of a contemporary art piece in that it shows a little bit of commentary about the current stage of the game. All the stuff with the man in the wall, specifically leading up to the Chimera prologue as well. And what I'm demonstrating here, obviously this is Lua, we got all the floating pieces and stuff. That is that, we have this quote that goes, don't forget, kiddo, you're nothing without me. And I think what he's referencing there is that the energy of the void is what makes the Tenno what they are. And of course, in the Hands of the Void clan, we always strive to seek to be the best Tenno that we can be. And part of that is maximizing our powers. So with that, we see here that this guy is obviously very menacing and kind of scary looking. But we see here that also that he's pushing this energy very deliberately. And what we can't really tell though is, is he powering Lua? Is he trying to destroy it? Is he, making it stay together? We don't really know what the motivations of the man in the wall are and his entire effects on the Tenno. Lua, of course, being the homeland, as close to what any homeland can be for the Tenno, I thought it was kind of a fitting representation for them. And also we see here too that there's this these natural kind of looking waterfalls all around. Then we have this very unnatural one in the center here, which I'm going to probably do something to kind of make that edge there look a little bit nicer. But we have this very unnatural, unnaturally occurring waterfall. Like this has no water source. We don't know, is the water the universal symbol for life? Is that coming out of the Tenno homeland because he's powering it? Is it something that comes out of there naturally? Maybe he's trying to stop it. We don't really exactly know. And of course, that energy is all going right down the drain. I want to take back what I said before about the splashes, about how they weren't really effective enough. What I didn't know before is that these water splashes are directional, unlike a lot of the other effects. So you just kind of have to fiddle with them to get them representing the way that you want them to be. That, of course, works really well right here, where we have an object for it to splash off of. We do have this centerpiece here. It's kind of Orokin themed, and I went with the Lua kind of / Orokin feel. But what we have here too is that with the Hands of the Void, we definitely like a lot of the Orkin aesthetic. But I wanted to note that it's definitely not smashed up and destroyed the way that Lua is. I'm probably going to replace these flames here with the green and black fire ones because I think that'll be a little bit more fitting for the tone of this room. Obviously, we've got some Iotans all over the place. Our transporter has been reskinned. This is our transporter here. Um, and I managed to use a lot of other stuff here too, but some of the stuff that I do like is just the little details, of course, that I'm very fond of. I'm going to be putting some splashes in here and stuff like that too over the course of the next day. Um, but just that we have some actual water, drainage in there. We've got some falling fog for the long waterfalls. We even got some cobwebs way up top here. If we can show them off without hitting that red zone. And there's some other ones over here too. Just to kind of denote that this is a spot that's not as thoroughly looked at as a lot of the rest of the dojo. And like I said, it is an art piece. And one of the things that I really like about it is that it is Lua on the outside, and Lua is also the focus. Um, and I kind of did that purposefully. And we also have the man on the wall made out of the same object as the wall. And that was kind of to denote a little bit of the blurring of the reality there and that sort of thing. Obviously, he's stone. He's not the same kind of stone, but he's still also the same material as the boundary that keeps him away traditionally. Like I said, I might want to put some manacles on him that are kind of busted. That's a thing. We do have this nifty looking chandelier up here also. I am planning on doing some more stuff with the roof up here, depending upon how much capacity this place has, and it does have quite a lot. So I'm very happy about that because the next thing up, this was kind of my experimental room to see what kind of boundaries I could push, and I still have more to do here, as I noted. But one of the things that I'm going to be doing up next is going to be doing a full-on mech bay with our next inspiration hall, which we have building right now. I found out you can build more than one of them, which is absolutely wonderful. I just wish we had that feature before so that I could build a bunch of inspiration halls instead of a bunch of other halls that I didn't want necessarily. I will ask that we look to increase the room limit from 100 because apparently the capacity has increased drastically. But the room count, I believe, is still at 100. And that's really going to mess up a lot of us that have been making dojos for a long, long time. So this is our kind of last minute throw together for what we have here for our first inspiration hall. I thought this was really fitting given the recent quest and also just, the theme of the Tenno. And it also fits really well with our clan too. We aren't really exactly the type to say worship the man behind the wall, but or in the wall rather. But we do have an aspiration to make the most out of what we have. I do want to note that I put a lot of time into kind of getting these hands to be not just lumpy but also expressive. And also with the face, and also this like weird looking neck that just kind of like bends down into the body like it's drawn like a child. I kind of wanted to do that because it kind of reminded me of the stuff from the pictures that Rel had on his cards, and also the shades as well. And also just this really weird lumpy head. I'm kind of into that. Obviously I could have made this a lot more smooth, but I didn't feel like that was fitting. I wanted it to be distorted and like in a mass and somewhat amorphous, and just being able to refine the parts that it could to kind of demonstrate that I want to say like avatar of the man on the wall. And of course we do have some of the wall still left that he's pushing through here. What this scene means exactly, I mean, that's up to interpretation of the individual. But I think I've kind of laid out what the different representations are, and the different ties to the Tenno and the Orokin and that sort of thing. But I'll leave it up to the viewer to kind of decide what it means for them. But like I said, I have a lot more to do in here, and we do have a mech bay planned for the future. So I hope that you guys tune in for that. But this is our last minute under the wire edition. We should probably be able to see that mech bay in maybe a week. Um, so we'll be looking forward to doing that as well. I've got a bunch of different kinds of mechs planned for that, and how I'm going to do that room up. This ended up not being behind the Void Torsion Beam device. It ended up being an extension from an elevator behind the Syndicate ward from the other videos. And instead, what we're going to be putting over there is the mech bay in that spot, and the Oracle will be going back to its original spot that's already built back up and ready to go. So we're just building that new inspiration hall. We've got some more work to do in here. You know, I really like this, how this distorts his eyes and gets it all kind of crazy looking there. But yeah, so that's what we got here. Yeah, I hope that you guys like. Um, and yeah, not bad for a first little crack at an inspiration hall, if I do say so myself. I put this together in about 9 hours. Like I said, I wanted to do more, but I just didn't have enough time. We farmed the resources, and probably for Mountain Tier, I want to say about 5 hours total to get everything in here built. You know, so because obviously we've used a very large amount of resources in other areas in this dojo, so we didn't have a bunch lying around to do the project like this. But anyway, I hope you guys like it, and good luck to all of the other contestants. There's some really great stuff there. I'm just glad that we don't have to compete at the Ghost and Storm tier, because some of those guys, with the ability to have, you know, near infinite supply of building and are limited only by their creativity, can do some pretty amazing stuff. I wish we had that option here. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty close, but it's just so much more expensive. So we do have to kind of consider build cost into what we're putting together, at least in order to make a deadline for a contest, that is. I'm sure over time we'll be able to do all kinds of crazy stuff with these rooms. But yeah, good luck to everybody, and I hope that everybody learns from everybody else from the different stuff we put together for this contest. I've really enjoyed seeing a lot of the other build outs and gotten a lot of inspiration from the other things people have done. It's really amazing to see some of the stuff you guys have put together. And yeah, with that, I think we'll be done.